More breaking inputs coming in on Pakistan. In fact, Pakistan's defense minister has made an explosive admission exposing Pakistan's own terror module. Pakistan's defense minister Khwaja Asif has told Sky News that a row over a mass shooting in Kashmir could lead to an all-out war between his country and India. Khwaja Asif said that the world should be worried about the prospect of a full-scale conflict involving the two nations, which both have nuclear weapons. But he also said he hoped the dispute could be resolved via negotiations. Let's also listen in to that reaction before I go across to Siddhant.
You do admit, sir, that Pakistan has had a long history of backing and supporting and training and funding these terrorist organizations.
Well, we have been doing this dirty work for the United States for about 3 decades, and West, including Britain.
So that's your argument that even though
that was a mistake, and we suffered for that. And that is why you are saying this to me. If we had not joined the war against Soviet Union and later on the war after 9/11, this Pakistan's track record, was not, unimpeachable track record.
Defense Minister, I just want to get back to this particular incident.
The things cooled down then, and now again the same thing is.
All right, I quickly go across to Siddhant, who will share more inputs on that news story. Siddhant, Khwaja Asif has been a bit of a loose cannon ever since that attack in Pahalgam took place. Not only did he rake up India's own domestic concerns, whether Chhattisgarh, Manipur, or the situation in Bengal, and now he's perhaps axed his own fate by admitting that Pakistan was a safe haven to terrorists for the West, including Britain.
Well, Akanksha, I think this particular remark which has been made by Defense Minister Khwaja Asif, and perhaps the way he has named United States, has to do with the frustration that Pakistan is right now going through because of the support that Donald Trump's administration has extended for India. In fact, Akanksha, we have been reporting since day one that how this has been a drastic shift in USS's policy. There's no doubt that U.S. for the longest time had supported Pakistan. In fact, they had a very deep defense cooperation. There's no doubt about it. Perhaps there have been several reports, suggesting the U.S. playing dirty games in AFPAC region, etc., etc. But this time around, perhaps highlighting this particular point that Pakistan has been doing dirty work for United States has to do with the support that U.S. is extending to India after a Pahalgam attack, because that is something which Pakistan is not liking. Perhaps Pakistan is reminding United States that the contribution Pakistan has made in the past on the behest of United States and has done dirty work. So this is how I perceive this particular statement that have been made by Khwaja.
And when you're talking about the mounting frustration within Pakistan, Siddhant, also give us a sense of how Pakistan is extremely isolated, not just by the West, but the Middle East itself. Because the timing of that attack happened on a day when Prime Minister was in Jeddah, which happens to be the headquarters of Saudi Arabia, a country that is steering the entire plan and the planning of the OIC. And India happens to be in good books of the OIC.
Well, yes, that we have been saying, Akanksha, that the countries like United States, countries like Saudi Arabia also had a deep defense cooperation with Pakistan at one point in time. In fact, Pakistan had always said this, that Saudi Arabia is their elder brother. Despite that, the kind of statement which has come from Saudi Arabia has sent shockwaves across the power corridors in Pakistan, because they were not expecting Saudi Arabia to extend support to India, after Pahalgam attack. So, this is all because of the effective diplomacy that has been put in place in last 1 decade. And in fact, it's also a success of Indian diplomacy that how in last 1 decade India has convinced these countries from US to UK to France to Germany, Saudi Arabia and other players in the Middle East that Pakistan is the perpetrator and India is the victim. Perhaps that is an achievement for India, and this is the reason that today, all these major countries are backing India, and there's a huge frustration, Akanksha, within the Pakistani government, army, and ISI, the way US has backed India. Perhaps Donald Trump speaking to Prime Minister Modi and extending full support. JD Vance is speaking to Prime Minister Modi, extending full support at all levels in United States. Akanksha, from State Department to the Pentagon to the other units, all have backed India and all have come up with the condemnation.
Right. Siddhant, is this interview also giving a sense, a jittery sense of what Pakistan is currently going through? Because remember, this is what Khwaja Asif has said, that the world should be worried